US congressional delegation is in New Delhi on the occasion of 76th Independence Day that perhaps underscores the importance of India-US relations. And on this very occasion, I'm being joined by Shri Thanedar, Congressman from Michigan. Sir, welcome to New Delhi. And first of all, thank you so much for finding out time to speak to us.
Yes, thank you. And we are excited. Many of the Congress members are here from United States. And this is all started with Prime Minister Modi's very successful visit to the United States. I, as a US congressman, had an opportunity to escort Mr. Modi to the joint session of US Congress, where Mr. Modi's speech was very well received. And at the time, Prime Minister Modi ji asked me if I could come to India as his guest for the 75th anniversary celebration of India's freedom and the independence. And we are just so happy to be here in recognizing and celebrating India's friendship with the United States.
Sir, you left India in late 70s.
1979, yeah.
In late 70s. So now when you are in India, what all changes you can see, what all changes you can witness, other than the statistics that we get to read every day, other than the growth trajectory of India that we get to know about every day. You are in New Delhi, perhaps you are meeting people, you are going everywhere around. What changes can you witness, and how much India has changed from late 70s to 2023?
A huge change. The last 75 years have been amazing change. Technology, India has advanced so much in technology. The economy is the best, fifth best in the country, in the world, and third best soon to be. So India's, the importance is the young people in India. And India has achieved so much. The interesting thing also is that the various people with different culture, different religion, different language, different food, they all are together and live in a harmonious way. And the world has a lot of respect for India, for what India has achieved.
Absolutely.
The G20 presidentship shows the recognition and the importance of India in the world scene. And I'm just proud to be here in India on this important occasion of celebrating India's 75th anniversary.
In fact, Congressman, Indians are also proud of you. Also, my next question is on G20. India is the chair. There's a lot of excitement, enthusiasm. You must have seen the branding and publicity of G20 everywhere in the national capital. So this Independence Day, we are preparing for the G20. Now, Congressman, India is perhaps walking a tightrope. India is a chair and perhaps also positioning itself as a Vishwa Guru. Do you think that India is going to justify its role as Vishwa Guru this time around at the time of G20? India is walking a tightrope. The war is going on in Europe. There are a lot of other issues which is up to India to solve. Supply chain, food supply shortage. These are some key issues. Do you think that India could perhaps come out with some sort of a joint statement or can build consensus between the West and the two other blocs, Russia and China, and can give solution to the world? Do you think that could happen in September?
It certainly could happen, will happen. But it's very important that India rethinks its non-alignment policy. For decades, India has practiced non-alignment, but United States is the only superpower now. Russia has been an aggressor. Putin has been a dictator that has invaded Ukraine. And India needs to look at what Russia has done in Ukraine. India needs to look at China and China's aggression, China's military aggression on India's northern border, China's unfair trade practices. So all of this need to be put into perspective. Obviously, United States expects India to be able to look at Russia, look at the aggression and Russia's invasion of a sovereign country. And if India can put it all in perspective, certainly India can provide a great leadership of the G20.
Okay. Mr. Thanedar, US President Biden signs executive order to ban investments in semiconductor, AI, and quantum computing in China.
Yes.
The companies have to are now subject to oversight before making those investments. Right before this particular order, this particular decision by the US government, Indian government banned imports of laptops from China. How do you look at two countries, perhaps, largely on the same page when it comes to dealing with China?
Well, China has practiced unfair trade practices.
Okay.
In terms of its respect for labor. It has, unfair labor practices, unfair environmental practices, and U.S. takes this very seriously. And therefore, any business that United States does with China, we must take into consideration China's unfair labor practices, the environmental concerns that U.S. has about China's practices, labor laws. All of that needs to be looked at, and we expect and we hope that India also looks at that. We need to address China's unfair trade practices.
Okay.
On any future trade deal with China,
Okay.
need to take that into account, not just by the United States, but any other country that practices trade or business relationship with China must take into account China's and must demand that China enforces and abides by the international labor laws and also international environmental and climate change regulations.
My next question will interest you a lot. This is going to be regarding the Indo-Pacific.
Yes.
Now, West say that there is no Indo-Pacific without India, and perhaps West is looking out for more and more partners in the region. So West has Philippines on board, West has Taiwan on board, West has Australia on board, West also has India on board.
Yes.
Where do you see India's role with regard to Chinese aggression, expansionist policies in Indo-Pacific? And also, till now, mostly the alliances is economical. It's based on business, trade. Can we see US collaborating with India militarily, and both militaries can come together and can offer a better opposition to Chinese expansionist policies?
Absolutely. And many of those issues were addressed when Prime Minister Modi ji visited United States, and the agreement between the Biden administration and Modi government has addressed many of those issues. We definitely must collaborate on the military issues. There needs to be an advanced collaboration on weapons, military, jet engines. Now that GE is going to produce jet engines, the drones, the agreement about drones, all of that is important, and India and United States must have collaboration in military, in cyber, cyber security, and space. All of that is very, very critical, in addition to medicine and pharmaceuticals and education, for example.
And what all you are saying has a bipartisan support?
It does appear to be a lot of bipartisan support. When Modi ji presented his speech to the joint session of the US Congress, he got more standing ovations, both from Democrats and Republicans. I have never seen
that level of popularity.
A visiting head of government receive that bipartisan applause and bipartisan support. So I expect there will be a lot of support, and India and United States must have strong, trusting, long-lasting friendship and relationship to bring peace in the Indo-Pacific region.
Okay. Mr. Thanedar, very last question. Indian government is perhaps very concerned about about mushrooming of Khalistani groups on Canadian and American soil, and perhaps multiple times this has been flagged off. Other countries are taking it seriously, but when it comes to Canada, they are not taking any action on ground. Even the Hindu community, the Indian patriotic community, people from the Indian origins are not feeling safe. And in fact, we are also doing a story of a temple attack in Canada right now. So how do you see this growing threat of Khalistan? And do you see the governments, especially your government back in DC, will perhaps come out with more in a more stronger way against such groups?
Well, I have been very open about it. Attack on Indian embassy, putting people's lives in danger, property in danger, attacking democratic institutions, attacking religious institutions. This is certainly not acceptable.
Yeah.
Any kind of protest needs to be peaceful and must not involve in any kind of violence, any kind of attacks. And that's what has been our position. And we have asked Biden administration to provide additional security towards the religious institutions
and foreign offices.
Foreign offices as well as democratic institutions.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
guess there's a meeting scheduled with Prime Minister Modi
Yes.
day after?
Yes. We'll be meeting with the Prime Minister, we'll be at the President's home.
Yeah.
We will also meet many cabinet members. Again, the idea behind the congressional delegation visiting India is to just...
It's also a message that this entire relation has a bipartisan support. I think that's very important.
Yeah, not only that, and
Yeah.
then we need to continue to have a strong relationship, growing relationship, and that is not just the best interest of the people of America, people of India, but for world peace. It's important that these two great democracies come together and build a strong friendship. And I saw that when Prime Minister Modi ji met with President Biden. I was there for the state dinner, and they have a good chemistry and they have a good bond, and their friendship, their bond will help in building this relationship.
Thank you so much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Thanedar,
Yeah.
for finding out time to do
Yeah.
this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.